Alright, so it's Little Flower from Houston, Texas. Made it back to Washington, and the plane ride was very interesting. Um, got mobbed there too, but whatever. So the Everett Gospel Mission, they never called me back. You know, that doesn't sound like an organization that has people in power that are really concerned about the welfare of the women there. I say that because I've reported to them the gang stalking. It's always like, blank. And that's okay. I can fill in the blanks for that. I can point you in the direction of where to go to do your own life-preserving research. You know, find things out for yourself on your own. So one of the best things to do is head over to Amazon while you still can, and look for books there. I highly recommend Bridging the Gap. It's a good place to start. And if you see any books that are out of print on Amazon, go to the publisher, because if you don't know it, Amazon. I love you, Amazon. Don't get me wrong. You do you, boo-boo. You do you. Because the open field for equal opportunity, whatevers, you're there by right, aren't you? Oligarchy, that you are. So, yeah, guys. Amazon, he's part of the Big Brother crew. And so, the products you get that may enlighten you, wake up and, ignite your fire for life, Well, if it's going to be anything that's counterintuitive to the covert communist regime, they're not going to provide that for you. So think twice if you come across something where you can't buy it on Kindle and it has anything to do with enlightenment. I'd be knocking down the door on the publisher. Go directly to their website. And go to targetedjustice.com. There is a gang stalking manual that had been published on it. And the doctor, the physician who published it, they ended up, terminated. You can say that they were terminated through their electronic weaponry. And guess what? There's no proof for that. The bestest proof you're going to have about wireless directed energy weapons will be your bone density checks. Your ability to rule in or rule out radiation poisoning objectively from real healthcare workers of ethics. Because, guys, when you go down the enlightenment hole and you come to realize how much play has been existing in the world, you begin to realize the whole concept of cattle and batteries, that's you and I, honey. We're cattle. Didn't you know that? So, the proprietors. Did you know there's a proprietor over you? Because us humans, we're cattle. You didn't know that? Well, oh well. I'm going to leave it there for you. Because, yeah, we're cattle. So, but at any rate, go research for yourselves. But to catch you up on my update, made it back over here to Washington. And the Everett Gospel Mission continues to stonewall me, which is a manipulative practice, which is psychological abuse. That's psychological abuse. So you got this Everett Gospel Mission who's psychologically being abusive by not returning my calls through stonewalling. You could always subpoena my records from my cell service here. Subpoena their records. That proves right there. Stonewalling. They're stonewalling one of their residents. And knowing I've reported to them on multiple verbal occasions, I'm being gang stalked. So since I get this, how many of those I spoke to in leadership positions actually gave attention to reading any literature? I told them about bridging the gap. I'm willing to bet not one of them made an investment on their inner knowledge of expansion. So consequently, guess what? It's like freezing out there. And I'm back to my everlasting ever camping fest. And I'm like, you know what? If that's what it takes, I got this. When I got to Washington, I had to live out of my truck, because it's an adventure. And if you're going to be placed in a position of any direction, I would suggest, like my mama used to tell me, hold on tight to your cross. Hold on tight to it. I'm going to tell y'all the same thing. Hold on tight to your cross. Because, I am. Oh boy, am I. I hold tight. But at any rate, I hold tight to my cross. So, this is what it's like coming at ya. Little Flower from Houston, Texas. Coming at ya. Live from in the trenches of this glorious, scandalous life as a targeted individual in this death cult survivor seppuku festivity your city officials have. It doesn't exist. But that's a talk for another time. So, but, yes, I'm in my lovely home away from home domicile. It's part of the life of a targeted individual. You're always having to take your stuff, almost everything you possibly can, hither, thither, yonder, and nor. And when you do leave it, wherever it is that you call home, these vermin, your covert communists with their shenanigans, your stuff is constantly invaded and destroyed incrementally on a consistent basis. So, I'm getting really tired of it. But, the name of the game is Survivor Seppuku. Guess what? I'm not even supposed to have made it this far. Well, I am a survivor. And a high viber. And a philosopher. I'm on a philosopher's journey. Oh boy, am I ever. But that's plenty of more tales for another time. But for today, what is today? January 24th of 2023. So, yeah, back in my new homeland, Washington, because I've been adopted by different forces of the unseen kind. So, never you mind these flying monkeys, people. The victory has already been won, especially if you are of the fellowship kind that, look toward the manual for the basic instructions before leaving Earth guide. That would be your Bible. So, but at any rate, yeah, this is what it's like. This is what it's like to be a targeted individual that has been pronounced guilty and no chance of being provided any kind of trial. Any kind of trial. But, yeah. It's cold outside, guys. It's really cold. See, look. If I showed you, would you believe it? Oh, man. Where am I? Oh, boy. So, I had to hang out in safe spots. But when I was having a fun time slinging some cocktails in a Indian tribal casino, people would ask me, so which machines pay out? And I'd be all like, if you really want to know, you really, really, really want to know what I think. And then someone would be like, and they'll be like, okay, you really don't, it's all right. It was just more of a theoretical, rhetorical question. And the ones that would be like, what? I'd be like, it's really not the machine as it is so much the person, and then I expand it from there. But I'll save you guys to talk. But I cracked the code on that. And guess what? It's taken off like a while ago. Just because you can't see it, or I can't see it on the outside, don't mean it ain't happening. All up in the ethers on that side of the hizzy. What is ethers? It's okay. It's okay. Hey, if you ever get toted on your philosopher's journey, let me know. We can have a real conversation about the good stuff. So, but yeah, guys. Hey, Houston, got a question for you. When all of this targeting was all up on my arse and back, and I initially went public with it, that was my beautiful discernment. I said, hey guys, I don't care if you believe me, not believe me. That's beside the point. I'm going public to preserve my own sense of safety, because in the event anything ever did, and consequentially, directly, indirectly, happen my way, at least there would be a no-brainer trail for, the real cops with integrity and ethics intact to have a fighting chance and figure out what happened to me. That's why I went public. And my synopsis was, give it 4 to 5 years, and that will be common household knowledge. Now, okay, Houston, we're into year 2. I think it's 2 now, maybe going on 3. Anyhow, what do you think now, Houston? You believe me now? You believe me now, right? Oh boy. Oh boy. And if you believe me, do you have the integrity and the moral aptitude to step out and claim your true beliefs? Or do you just ratchet them down and pretend, nothing's happening, everything's okay, nothing's happening? Guess what? The longer you stay in denial, the longer it's not okay. It's meeting all of that uncomfortable real reality that we were spoon-fed. It doesn't exist. I give you my blessings. Good luck with that. Because sooner or later, when Jumanji's all up in your face, you better deal with it now while you have hidden grace. Because otherwise, there might be a healthy psychotic break in it for you. Because like our good friend that said, the truth I told you the truth, could you handle it? 10 to 1. I think it's more of a chance of 1 out of 10 could be diverse enough to handle it. The rest of you guys might go, boop, I'll pop Tisma berserk. Is that just a crazy, lunatic, insane, made up term? I'll pop Tisma berserk? Good luck with that. I'll just say it's pretend for now for your sake. Because unless you start to deal with this real reality out here, incrementally on your term, you don't have much time, guys. I would suggest you had that done like 6 months ago. But if you get on your path, sure you can work something out and maintain your non-divergence. Little Flower coming to you from in the trenches of being a full-on fugitive in your own country, courtesy of Willy Wonka and his League of Doom, which begs the question, who's Willy Wonka? What is his League of Doom? Well, honey, Willy Wonka, he's a psychopath running all of this shadow monkey business, dispatching all of these flying monkeys, of which he's now mocking you hard. I'll tell you about it. If I told you now, you wouldn't believe me anyway. Well, just keep that between me and Willy Wonka. And I do have to say, brah, your work is incredible. They all believe you in the face of enlightenment. I find that entirely fascinating. Really fascinating. You all treating me like goddamn unicorn. I'm looking at you from my unicorn stance in at all of these flying monkeys who are indoctrinating their children and generations to play the goddamn psychotic psychopath, sociopath. And then I step in closer and I look at you. I'm like, you don't even see it, do you? If I was mad and I hated you all for it, where would that get anybody? Rather, I consider it my personal accomplishment of what I was able to do better than the day before was to snap you all out of it. But until then, I guess the only thing I can do is just find my own median, my own happy balance in all of it. You know? At least I'm doing my best and how to be accomplished, more so than the day before. That don't step on anybody else's liberty. So remember, when you played a psychopath for Willy Wonka, number one, he's laughing at you. Down low, low key. You should know it. And, well, I forgot. Lucky you. Good night, guys. Well, it's about almost 5 o'clock in the morning. It's cold. I wasn't prepared for this. I just had gotten off the plane and it's in my car now. My buddy, Sitting Bear, had kept Cookie Kwan all nice and safe. Cookie Kwan's my truck. Anyhow, y'all be meeting Sitting Bear soon. She's another divine badass. Anyhow, Little Flower coming at you from live action. Ain't no role play here. I'm really in the trenches of this Cold War. talk to y'all in another